Ladies and gentlemen, today on the channel we're bringing you one fantastic battle. We have none other than the Triumph 17 going up against the Ride 13. And yes, these shoes are in different weight classes, but the Ride 13 said to us it thinks it can punch above its weight, and we're going to see if it can deliver on that promise. So stay tuned for an epic battle between these two beautiful shoes. Before we get into the pre-fight interviews, if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Brendan, and I am a non-elite runner who likes to buy a bunch of shoes, take them out on the road, try them out, come back in here and talk to you about them and my experiences running. Right now we're doing marathon training, so we're talking a lot about that on the channel. So if you love shoe reviews, if you love running, I know you do, you're watching this epic battle, I want you to hit that subscribe button right down there, and if you're down there already, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like button. It helps get this video up to more and more people. All right, I've gabbled on enough about myself. Let's get into the pre-fight interviews with these two beauties. Introducing the Triumph 17! What is going on, man? How is your night going tonight? He doesn't like to say a whole lot, so I think I'm going to take over the interview from this point. So he's coming in at a height of 10.5 US men's, and that weight, he's a heavy guy. He's coming in at 332 grams. We're going to list that on ounces right here on the screen for you folks that use that system. But I must say, for that weight and that height, the Ride 13 is going to have a tough time getting this guy on the ground. Isn't that right, Mr. Triumph 17? See? Nothing. Just silence. All right, let's bring up Mr. Ride 13 and get into this battle. Introducing Ride 13! What is going on? How is your night going tonight?
Oh, it's going very well.
See, this is what I need. I need a little bit more conversation like we're getting with this guy. But I'm going to take over anyway because I just like to run my own show. So Mr. Ride 13 is also coming in at that US 10.5 men's for the height. You know what? Matched evenly on height, but the Triumph is a little bit heavier. Well, I must say a lot heavier. So the Ride 13 is coming in at a weight of 302 grams, 30 grams less than the Triumph 17. And you can tell just based off of his sleeker body, he is definitely going to be more lean muscle, I must say. But how do you feel about your chances in this fight?
I think I'm going to do incredibly well, actually. I think I will do most admirably.
Okay, those are some pretty strong words. Let's go see if you can back them up. Let's get into the head-to-head battle, starting off with fit. I did go true to size in both of these shoes, size 10.5 US men's, so if you have one and want to pick up the other, definitely go for true to size on the other choice. The heel cup on these two is very, very similar, although on the Ride 13, you do get a little less foam, but we're going to talk about the differences here in a couple of minutes. The fit through the toe box is almost identical, I found, even though the Ride 13 does appear to be a little bit more narrow. That wasn't the case. The landing platform on the Triumph 17 is much more wide, so I was expecting a bit more room through the toe box and the middle of the foot, but no complaints there on either shoe. They both felt very, very true to size. It felt great, felt just like a sock type fit. I didn't feel any heel slippage on either of them after I did the runner's knot. Key point after I did the runner's knot, because on both of these shoes, the memory foam in the heel, although it's very, very nice, I found that it did give me a little bit of trouble in terms of heel slipping. So that's something to be aware of. Another similarity between the two is honestly something I don't really enjoy is these like pipe cleaner thickness laces. You know, the ones that are like really stretchy, and in theory, I think that they would be more comfortable, but for me, I don't really enjoy them. I find them really long. I find them almost like an extra source of heat. I don't know, I think I will eventually change them out, and that's something that's really good. I don't like the laces, and I can easily change those. It's not like having an upper that I don't like that's not modular, but wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be intense if we had a modular shoe? Like if some shoe company gave us the option to pick out a midsole foam and then pick up an upper and pick and choose as we please, now that would be innovation. Let's get back on topic. Those are the similarities that I want to pinpoint. The laces and the fit are very, very similar between both of these shoes, the Ride 13 and the Triumph 17. So we're gonna have to go even right there. Now let's talk about the more exciting parts, the differences. In the Ride 13, you are getting that PWRRUN foam, where in the Triumph 17, you are getting the PWRRUN Plus. Now, the differences that I'm feeling between these foams is really just down to how cushiony they feel. Now, the PWRRUN foam is by no means a very hard foam. It does give you enough of that plushness and comfort to make sure that your joints are protected and you can go those longer distance without worrying about if your joints are going to feel like super beat up afterwards. The PWRRUN does a great job of offering that comfort. However, the PWRRUN Plus on the Triumph 17 is of a whole other level of cushion. And the best part about the PWRRUN Plus midsole is, although it is that beautiful cush, like you can just press it all day long and it's amazing. But it also doesn't give you that sinky feeling. So when you put in the power to the PWRRUN Plus midsole, you are getting something back. It's not like all that energy is being lost every time you put it in. It is giving you more of that, I hate to use this because it's still overused, but responsive feeling. And what I mean by that is when I put in some power into the foam, it's not just staying compressed, it's bouncing back more and helping me along each stride. And that's something I really do enjoy about the PWRRUN Plus foam. But there's a lot of it on the Triumph 17 and it does add a lot of weight. And that's going to be our next difference, is the weight of these two shoes. Now, as I highlighted in our introduction, this Triumph 17 is 30 grams heavier than the Ride 13. So if you're someone that doesn't like having heavy shoes, definitely the Ride 13 would be your best bet. But I will say that the Triumph 17 weight is pretty well distributed because it doesn't feel like a massive brick on my foot. I have had shoes in the past, I think it was the Brooks Adrenaline line, that I felt was very heavy on my feet and just awkwardly proportioned weight. I didn't feel like that in the Triumph 17 whatsoever. Beautiful shoe to run in, but if you don't like heavier shoes, I would stay away from the Triumph 17 and go towards the Ride. The next difference is gonna be on the breathability standpoint. That is something I have noticed between the two shoes. Now, these shoes by no means are breathable. The Ride 13 is still a little bit of a hot shoe, but it definitely wins in terms of breathability. My foot is not so soupy after a longer run, but on the Triumph 17, after even a short 30-minute run, this heel collar, I'm not going to explain to you how wet it is because it's disgusting. But on the Ride 13, although it is a little bit wet, it's not terrible. My whole foot feels just a little bit cooler using the Ride 13. So if breathability is something you're concerned about, well, you're not going to get the best out of either, but the Ride 13 is something that I'd lean towards in that regard. Another key difference, and something that I really didn't know I enjoyed until it came into my life, is the flexibility given by these flex grooves in the Ride 13. Now, what that really does for me is just have that toe off feel a little bit less effort. So on the Triumph 17, where you're just getting like this big block of foam essentially, the toe off is not smooth. You have to bend this foam in order for it to get that toe off, where on the Ride 13, it's being aided by the Triflex technology, Saucony's calling it. And it does for a very smooth ride. I must say that the Ride 13 is named proper because it is definitely a ride and a half, and I enjoy every stride I take in it. Thanks to this Triflex technology, I do believe that has a lot to do with why I love running in this shoe so much. The last difference I want to highlight for you folks is the outsole. Now, the outsole on the Ride 13 is that traditional blown rubber, where on the Triumph 17, you're getting that crystallized rubber. Now, I don't really fully understand the differences between them, but what I can say is the Triumph 17 outsole does feel a little less flexible. I always thought it was because of the Triflex technology here in the Ride 13. However, what I've been hearing from Road Trail Run is that the crystal rubber is a little bit less flexible. That's why they transitioned over to the blown rubber for the Triumph 18, sorry. So that is a difference that I didn't really expect to make a big difference for me, but I guess it does. Maybe that's why this shoe just feels a little bit more stiff, I guess. Who knows? Anyway, those are the differences. Now let's talk about, if I had to choose one of these shoes, which one would it be? Now I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you can get both of these shoes, I would highly recommend that you pick both of them up. They complement each other very, very well, if you like Saucony shoes anyway. The Triumph 17 is beautiful for those easy days. However, it can be used for those faster days too. It's very versatile. And the same goes for the Ride 13. It is plush enough to be used for my easier days, but it definitely feels a lot better when I want to pick up the pace in the Ride 13. To me, it just feels much more nimble on foot than the Triumph 17. But both of these shoes can be used for any purpose, I do feel. Now, it's not going to be great, of course, to use the Triumph 17 for a track session, but you know, sometimes you have to pinch those pennies and pick one shoe. And you know what, guys? Even though these shoes are so nice and I love both of them so much, this decision is very, very hard for me. But I have to say, the Triumph 17 would be the shoe that I would pick up if I had to pick one of them. The reason for that is because it feels a lot better on those easy days. So I'm talking, I went for a run the other day at 7 second per kilometer pace, and the Triumph 17 just soaked up those miles. That cushion was so nice. And then on the flip side, I took it out for a little bit more of a faster pace run at 5 minutes per kilometer. I know it's not fast for a lot of you, but for me, that's my faster stuff. And it performed admirably at that pace as well. So the Triumph 17 is much more versatile in the sense that on easy days, you can really go easy and it feels fantastic. Where on the Ride 13, I feel taking it out for those easier days, it's just not as plush and the foam is definitely a little bit more unforgiving than the PWRRUN Plus. Okay, that is my choice, but like I said, if you have the ability to pick up both of these, I definitely would recommend it. And if you don't prefer those heavier shoes, definitely get the Ride 13, or if you don't like feeling that really cushiony, the Ride 13 is your style. But for me, I do prefer having that cushy stuff for my easy days, and that's why we're going with the Triumph 17. And the best part about the Triumph 17 right now, it's on sale over on the Saucony website. I'm in no way affiliated with Saucony, but I was just looking on there because I was thinking about picking up the Shift, and I found a coupon code that's 25% off anything, any style, or 15% off of sale items. The Triumph 17 is currently on sale for like 150 Canadian dollars. With that extra 15% off, it goes down to 130. So you're getting a heck of a shoe for, I think that would be under 100 US dollars, something like that. So definitely check out the Triumph 17 or get the Ride 13 for 25% off as well. Both of them are great. That is just my rambles for today. I absolutely love the Saucony shoe lineup right now. Working on a video to talk about the overall lineup. That's coming to you folks soon. But for now, I'm going to sign off because I'm going to go for a run. I just picked up the Clifton 7s, so you know we're going out to test those. All right, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you had to choose one of these, which would it be? Thank you so much. I will see you on the next one.